Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to be showing you how you can um, make use of post, put, patch and delete methods using fetch and also hashes. So all these methods have their importance. For instance, get means like you want to get something from the server, post means that you want to send something to the server, and put means you want to update, patch means you want to update one property from a record, while put means like maybe you want to replace it, like just update the entire object, while delete means like you want to delete a record from the database. So and all these methods, all these HTTP methods have what they support and what they don't support. Some support payloads. So payload means like maybe you want to send a new object to the server. Some methods doesn't support it. Some doesn't support like queries. So depending on what your backend, how they wrote their APIs and all, that's how you are going to work with it. So it doesn't mean like the way you work with a previous API is the same way you are going to work with every other API. So it doesn't work that way. So it depends on what the backend has written and then the documentation that the backend is giving. So that's basically what is going to determine the usage. So the first one I'm going to get started with is the post. We're just basically going to hit the slash post API, the same thing as this, but the HTTP method is going to be different. So just see it as you if you have my phone number, you can perform a method such as like calling me, you can call me, it will go, you can send me an SMS, it will go. These are like kind of like different methods because you can flash, you can call, you can send an SMS, you can add me on WhatsApp and stuff like that. So that's basically the kind of like methods. So now we can come here now. You see the way we've been doing it. The way I've been doing it, like I'm separating my business logic, my functions from the UI. So you can also do the same. Basically, what we need to do now is we want to send a post to this route. So what we could do is we'll just stick to hashes. So what we can do is const um, you know, um, post new posts, or we can do, since the post means create, we can do create new post, and then we could do we could get our response equals to await hashes dot post. You can see the URL that we want to post to, it should be async. The URL we want to post to is the same as this, so we just make use of posts, the URL, and then we can now specify what we want to send here, like body, like the data that we want to send, we can now specify it there. So well, before we do that, this is becoming more redundant, so we can just have it in a constant file, and then we can export it, and then we can reuse it. So in the utility file now folder, we can just do constants constants.js. So we can now to bring this here, so this can be needed and this too can be needed. Export. So we can now delete this and export this manually. You can see now that it's way much better, and we can do the same thing here as well. Okay, so that makes our code much better, and then we have this here. So now there are a couple of things to be aware of. Let's say, for instance, let me show you some examples from here. So you already know we are making use of ES6, so we are not going to be making use of require. That's for backend. And then you can see that the way we make use of attributes is different from fetch, because we use the chain method to specify the kind of HTTP method that we want to use, like .get. Then we use chain, which is like promise and catch. Finally, I think I've already told you, I've shown you an example of finally, dot finally in our Todoist application. So, and now there are some times that we want to pass some data to the backend as we are making our HTTP call. So for instance, it might be a param, like I told you. For instance, like this now, this is like a query of param. So you might want to pass it, or you might want to pass the body. So this allows you to, you can do the same with fetch, and you can do the same with actions as well. So the post requests allows us to pass data. It allows us to pass data to the backend. So let's say, for instance, now you want to create a new to do, you want to pass a new object, or you want to pass a new array, or different data type depending on what the backend is expecting. So you can pass it using post. So if you want to send something to the backend, they ask you to send the ID of the user, the token of the user. You can make use of post. So you can make use of post for this. So basically, we are going to do the same thing here. So we already have this object. So we could now do, let's say, for instance, our new post. A new post is something like ID. Let's just add the random ID, user ID. We could just do like a big B, and then we could do title, new post title, and then we could do body, which is body contents. So that's that, and then we can pass the new post here. So we could then do console.log res. Let's see what we have. So come here now, and then refresh. Okay, we've not actually invoked the function. So create new post, we could just come here, and let's see, we have a button here. So just mimic create new post. If you click create new post, and then we can import it. Export here first, and then import. And now we can refresh this and click this button, and you see what we have. So status 201 is different from status 200. 200 means like it's successful. 201 means like something was changed in the backend successfully. You could just search for status code 201, for instance, or you could search for all the list. So the 201 created status code means that the request was successfully fulfilled and resulted in one or possible multiple new resources being created. So this means like we are creating something in the backend, and that is why we are getting status 201. Yeah. So, and you can see this is the data. So what usually happens is, like, when you are creating data in the backend from the front end, the backend usually send the data back to you, so that you can see that, okay, it is actually created and this is what is being stored to the backend. Yeah. So for instance, now I add an ID of 9919, but the backend replied with an ID of 101. And the reason is because the backend will be the one to assign an ID to a new resource and not the front end, because by the time I assign 919, another user might be assigning 919. But for the backend, they know how to increment the ID based on their algorithm. Maybe they're using a number or they are using a UUID. They will be the one to do that. And this makes sense because the post that we are getting here is 100. Yeah, so it is 100 and the next one should be 101. So that's why we are seeing 101 here. And then we have the new post title. We have our user ID on Big B. User ID can be changed, and then the body content can be updated. So that's basically what we are getting. So this means like our create to do, our create post function is working. So one thing about JSON placeholder is whatever you create is not going to be stored because you cannot see the 101 that I created here. We are only seeing 100. So the reason is because if a lot of people are creating new resources on their database, so that is why it is like that. So that's that on post. So you can post data. So depending on the documentation of your backend, it will help you to understand what you should send and how you should send it. Maybe a string or any data type. So similarly to the patch, we could do something like with the patch as well. So for put, so what put is also similar to the create new post, which is post. So we could do update post to user ID. So for this now, we need to specify the ID of the post. So /1. So we can do /1 if you want. So we can do /2, or we could do post ID. And the reason we are doing post ID is because we want it to be dynamic. And then we could do let's come here. Can now be button for update post, and then we can pass maybe like 2 here. And then we can also pass the data here, but we don't want to be creating forms, so we just make a static one here. So we just change this to updated title and updated body content. So if I come here and click on, let me style this a little bit. There we go. So if I click this, now you can see, okay, this is 404, which means like something is not formed. Something is not formed. Quotes /2. Okay, so the reason is because I am using the wrong methods. Instead of using put, I am using post. So I can come here and do put. So this should be put and not post. So I can come here and click on update, and now I have 200, which means like it has been updated. So they're just telling us like, okay, ID2 has been updated, user ID, updated title, updated contents. So then what if I only want to update the title and not the body? So I do this, and then you can see what I updated is what was only returned. So that's basically it. So I would just leave you guys to do patch and delete. Pretty simple. You can see the same way I did for code. It's the same way you're going to do for patch, and then you can see it's the same route. You can try it out. See if you get anything 200. That means anything 200. That means like you got it right. But if you're getting anything 400, 500, that means you're doing something wrong. So I look forward to see how you approach this. And let me know your favorite. Do you like Fetch API or Asho's? Anyone is fine.